Hey guys, welcome back to DC Action. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be breaking down the new issues of Dark Crisis for November. Okay, so this month we actually have 5 comics. I believe this is the most we've gotten in a single month, and they are as follow. That being Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths issue 6, Dark Crisis The Dark Army, Dark Crisis Worlds Without a Justice League Batman, Dark Crisis Young Justice issue 6, and I Am Batman issue 15. Now the order won't be as I just said it there, due to the way they come out and the way they interconnect. But for the first two, I know it will be I Am Batman and Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, and the rest, well, they haven't come out yet, just because of the way I record these videos. But anyway, jumping into I Am Batman issue 15. This issue begins right where the previous one left off, where Batman appears to have killed a cop. Detective Chubb, the partner of the cop who is apparently dead, reminds Jace of how he has run away from things in the past. But he says that this time he needs to atone for his actions, and must be arrested for this murder. Sheen in response tells him to shoot himself as an atonement. But before he does this, we find out that this is all an illusion, and he then walks away. Jace then has another vision where he sees the son of the man he ran over in the past. But again, this isn't real, and in fact it is Sinestro messing with him. After a little while longer, Sinestro leaves, telling Jace that he will be back to kill him. Jace realizes his mistake in turning down John's offer in the early issues of Dark Crisis. Sinestro then finds Jace attempting to kill him. In doing so, he inflicts a few more visions on him and then giving Jace a piece of yellow energy, assumably to help him kill himself, as this is what Sinestro plans for him to do. But instead, he transforms this yellow piece into a glove, which he then uses to beat up Sinestro. Jace then gets back onto his bike and heads for the Hall of Justice to help the rest of the heroes fight the Dark Army. Now moving on to Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, issue 6. This issue starts with Mr. Terrific sending the Green Lantern Corps a message that they are in trouble. However, while waiting for Hal to return from finding Pariah, a horde of dark shadow creatures attack them. Back on Earth Zero, the heroes and villains continue fighting at the Hall of Justice. But worlds away, the Justice League convene and discuss a plan to get back to Earth Zero. But there is a risk that not everyone will make it out alive. The battle continues on Earth, and Jace Fox, aka Batman, joins the fight, coming straight out of I Am Batman issue 15. Using the lasso of truth, the heroes make Pariah see the truth of the situation, how he is controlling the darkness. However, this angers Pariah. The heroes continue fighting, with John taking a pretty bad beating. Batman figures out how to activate the antimatter machine, which traps Pariah and causes him to be destroyed, in a similar fashion to how Flash was destroyed in the original Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now with Pariah gone, the power the Dark Army has is presumed to be lessened. However, John is still beat down and unable to fight. Just before getting one final blow from Doomsday, Clark flies in to save his son. The two Supermen together knock back Doomsday, and then they reconnect a little while. The rest of the Justice League then arrive, along with some Green Lanterns, and they all join the fight. But it appears that Oliver is absent from this collective, presumably dead due to the earlier conversation in this issue. The heroes then begin to notice that darkness is not fading from their enemies, which is when they realize this darkness is now being transferred into Deathstroke. Now moving on to Worlds Without a Justice League, Batman. This story is set on Earth Batman, where it appears that Gotham is the last city on Earth, where by day, order accompanies the city, but by night, chaos. And to watch over that chaos is Batman, or at least a steampunk version of him called the Knight. As you would have assumed, the Knight is Bruce Wayne, but interestingly, a businessman calling himself Wax instead of Wayne is also Bruce. These two Bruces are one half of the Bruce we know from Earth Zero, one of them being the vigilante, and the other being the businessman. Once discovering what led to their psyche being split, Alfred erases both of their memories, and they wake up having no knowledge of what took place the previous day. In the second half of this issue, we follow Zatanna, who struggles to come to terms with her created world But then she sees her father, which grounds her, but just before she enjoys spending time with him, that is ripped away from her when the Justice League finds her and employs her help in going to stop the impending Dark Crisis, as will be followed in Dark Crisis issue 7. Now for Dark Crisis Young Justice issue 6, which is the last issue, we follow directly from the end of last issue, after Robin, Impulse and Superboy return home from the world Mickey Mix's Spittalik trapped them in, only for him to follow them. Now the entirety of Young Justice reunited stand against him together. Red Tornado informs the team of a current battle at the Hall of Justice, which is what we saw occurring in Dark Crisis issue 6. Bart formulates a plan and uses Flash Time to inform Cassie, without alerting Mickey. Cassie follows this plan by making fun of Mickey, buying Impulse time to get a quantum entanglement trap prepared. However, this fails. As a result, Mickey takes away the powers of some of the Young Justice members. Connor reminisces on his past and his mistakes in how he treated Cassie. However, Cassie says that whatever mistakes he made helped make her stronger, so she doesn't regret anything. Impulse and Cassie convince Mickey to give all the members of Young Justice their powers back, in order to prove himself as their better. However, then using their combined strength, they once again employ the use of the quantum entanglement trap, which this time works. After defeating Mickey, the team goes off to the Hall of Justice to join the fight against the Dark Army. Now moving on to Dark Crisis, the Dark Army. This issue starts off with Damian recapping what is currently happening, with the Dark Army attacking the Hall of Justice and the various heroes taking a stand against them. Damian shares his supposed plan with John, which he supports, but it cannot help him with as he is needed on the front line. Damian then chooses a team that comprises of Power Girl, Sideways, Dr. Light, Red Canary, and of course himself. They then transported to a place that resembles a train station, and it appears as though Damian has aged up in this scene, but it could just be a different art style. After Damian makes fun of Red Canary a little bit, he asks why she decided to help, despite being new and not having much skill, to which she replies she's carrying the torch for Black Canary, after she died with the rest of the Justice League back in Justice League issue 75. We find out that they travelled to Earth 53, where the Justice League, and presumably everyone else, were apes. I say were because this world looks very much destroyed. Dr. Light and Power Girl suspect that Robin isn't telling them something important, while Sideways and Red Canary have a conversation about being new to the whole superhero business. The team arrive at the Cosmic Tuning Fork, which first appeared in Crisis on Infinite Earths, and as such, Dr. Light and Power Girl recognize it as they were present during that event. Red Canary notices and points out shadow demons that then go on to attack them. Dr. Light uses her powers to kick demon butt, as we saw happen in Crisis on Infinite Earths also. Robin gets to the control panel and finds the location of where they need to go next, but the shadow demons combine to form one massive shadow entity. Using a combination of Power Girl's heat vision and Dr. Light's abilities, they are able to take down the shadow demons temporarily, which buys them enough time to escape. We find out that the team has now travelled to the House of Heroes, which was the Monitor's satellite, destroyed during the original Crisis. Robin reactivates the Harbinger AI, which lures darkness-infected Justice League Incarnate to them, attempting to corrupt something called the Orrery of Worlds, which would allow them to corrupt the entire multiverse all in an instance. Robin realizes that Dr. Light may be able to use her powers on the Orrery of Worlds before the darkness can corrupt it. The team buys time for Dr. Light to do just this. However, this doesn't exactly go to plan, but she emerges from the Orrery in a new form with boosted powers, which allows her to cure the Justice League Incarnate members from darkness. Dr. Multiverse uses her multivision to see the home realities of the team in order to properly orient Sideways' powers. In doing so, she sees that Damian has one prominent path in his future, where it appears that he will become Batman, or at least a version of him. This will be followed in Batman vs. Robin, which will then lead into the event called Lazarus Planet. But I already made a video on that, so go check that out if you want to learn more about it. And that is the end of this issue, with the revelations made to be picked up in Dark Crisis Warzone and Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths issue 7, both coming out next month in December. Now onto my reviews for each of these issues. As for I Am Batman issue 15, it started off very confusing in my opinion,
with Jace coming in and out of visions. But once Sinestro was revealed, everything made a little more sense. Seeing Jace come to terms with his actions and deciding to join the fight at the Hall of Justice was a great display of his character development and something I hope is explored further. As for Dark Crisis issue 6, this issue was awesome, action-packed all throughout, and the Justice League were finally able to join the fight. Oliver's disappearance is slightly concerning, considering it was mentioned not everyone would make it back, and his speech earlier on in the issue indicated to me that he may be the one left behind. However, considering there is a new Green Arrow comic book coming out very soon, probably not going to stay dead for very long, but I'll make a video soon covering the new comics that are coming out and how they play into this event and the upcoming Lazarus Planet event. With the darkness having taken control of Deathstroke, there is still a lot to explore in the following issues, but the story is slowly coming to a close, and the ramifications of it will be interesting to see. As for Worlds Without a Justice League Batman, the first half of this issue felt very pointless to me. Aside from the nice Batman-centered world, it didn't really feel connected to the larger story at hand. However, the Zatanna half did better connect into the current event, with her struggling to accept this new world, and then the League seeking out her help in getting back to Earth and stopping the crisis. As for Young Justice issue 6, this issue was quite good, seeing how the team reconciled for their past and how they used their various powers and abilities to take down Mickey. I hope we get to see them in the next issue of Dark Crisis, as this was the last issue of the Young Justice story, and it would be cool if they get their own comic book in the near future. And as for Dark Army, this was by far my favourite issue this month, and possibly throughout the entire event. I love the team that was explored here, the chemistry was awesome, and getting to see newcomer Red Canary was also very cool. And I hope we get to see more of her, because she seems like a fun character to follow. I also hope we get to see this team in the future, or at least a few of the members interacting together. I'm really interested to see how Dr. Light plays into stopping the Dark Army next month, and as to what Dr. Multiverse saw about Robin, and how it plays into the Lazarus Planet event. But anyway, that is it for this month, so I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content like this. But until next time, this has been Chris, and I'll be seeing you.